Easements for Quick Trip number 249. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. New business item number 5. Consider the waiving the limitation on successive applications as provided in Gardner Municipal Code 18.185.200, thereby directing the Community Development Director to accept a special use permit application for used car sales at 18865 South Gardner Road. Mike, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Just to be clear, this is a request for permission for the applicant, Sing Food and Gas Services, to apply for a special use permit to operate a used car sales lot. I just want to emphasize it's a request for permission to apply, and it is not an application for a special use permit. That, if granted permission, gives them the option of applying for a special use permit. Section 18.185.200 does not allow the city, Section 18.185.200 does not allow the city to accept any application for the same property within 12 months of the application being withdrawn or denied, or decided, The governing body may waive this limitation on successive applications for good cause shown. The section of the code that is coming from is in the council action form, so if you wanted to read that. This is the location of the property. It's currently used as a convenience store, fuel station, and a liquor store. It's on the east side of Gardner Road, just north of the Gardner I-35 interchange. This is just an aerial showing the conditions of the site. This is the property, a view of the current use of the property, car sales. So just to be clear, this is currently being used as a car sales lot. So just a little more background. The applicant applied for a rezone application in March 2013. The rezone application is scheduled to be heard by the Planning Commission on August 27th. Without permission by the City Council, the City will not accept a special use permit application or any other application for this property within 12 months of the withdrawal of the rezone application in the event it is withdrawn. So just to review the history, following the submittal of the rezone application in March, the Planning Commission considered it at their April meeting but deferred action on it. Staff recommended denial of the rezone application. Planning Commission was reluctant to recommend approval of the rezone, and so they requested a report by staff on alternatives to the rezone. At the May meeting, staff presented alternatives, one being a special use permit application. Gardner Special Uses Ordinance provides for a wide range of uses in commercial districts to be considered as a special use permit. But the special use permit option provides for the approval that places a limit on it of 2 years, with the option of renewing that application. A rezone application does not provide for the approval with a time restriction. In other words, if the city were to approve the rezone, you get the rezone, you get the zoning and everything that goes along with it. At least that's the way it is today. The Planning Commission at their meeting suggested the applicant could withdraw the rezone application and submit a special use permit application instead. Just to be clear, the Planning Commission did not decide. They're not in a position of deciding. They're in a position of providing direction and recommendations. But their comments seem to suggest that a special use permit application could be submitted in place of a rezone application. And that brings us back to you tonight. So with that, staff's recommendation is to waive the limitation on successive applications and allow an application for a special use permit. It's very important as part of this, in staff's opinion, that the rezone application must be withdrawn prior to publication of the August 27th, 2013 Planning Commission agenda, which actually happens in a couple days. Part of the reason for doing this, in staff's opinion, is that we don't go through all the way through on the rezone application and use more of the staff time and the commission's time and the council's time on that. Also, if they withdraw soon enough, it's possible that they could get the special use permit application submitted in time to be on the September agenda, and that this process can move forward. Keeping in mind that since late March, the use has been really in violation of the code. The city has allowed them to pursue their zoning options without ceasing the use. And so that would allow us to move forward. So the basis for the recommendation is partly because the applicant did not understand the options before submitting the rezone application. It was done very quickly without much consultation of by staff. And also, the Planning Commission's direction favors a special use permit over a rezone application. But certainly the City Council has the option of not waiving the limitation on successive applications. And that's the end of my slides.
At this time, I want to open the floor to public comments. I know we've got Mr. Jones and Mr. Singh here, which you're certainly welcome to make public comments, or you can wait and see if there are questions directed towards you, or you can make public comments and we'll be glad to take a little back and forth with you as we discuss the item. But at this time, we will open the floor for public comments. Anyone that would like to make comments regarding this new business item are invited to come forward. State your name and address for the record and be heard.
Hi, Tyrone Jones, 18336 Mimosa Court, Gardner, Kansas. I think we all understand why we're here. It's not really so much that I think the city wants this car lot, it's that the city messed up by this whole application system that we have. We had intended to try to work with the city. I am almost confused at this point on which way to go. At one point we were talking about 5 years. At one point we went to 2 years. At one point we went to 4 cars. I don't understand really what's the best way to go because the city hasn't been able to direct us. This, in my opinion, was not a problem that we caused. We followed the rules that the city gave us. The city should be coming back to us with a way to fix this problem. I think the city's responsibility is to figure out a way to fix the problem. It shouldn't fall on me to have to apply for this and ask for permission to apply for this or jump through another hoop for 4 cars or 6 cars or whatever it is. If there was a problem with it, the city should have never, ever gave us permission in the first place, but they did, so we need to move on. I would like to have the option of having the land use permit. I am not sure yet if I want to spend 2 years building my business and then have to shut it down after 2 years. So I think I should still should have the option of going with the rezone, and if I want to go from there with a special use permit. Once again, we followed the city's rules. The city needs to follow their own rules now and take care of their responsibility. I have nothing else to say unless anybody has any questions for me.
I'm glad you're here. I mean, and we may have questions, but if you want to sit tight
Okay.
while we discuss this with the Community Development Director. Mike? Questions for Mike?
Yeah, okay, so Mike, if we approve this permission to file the special use permit, I'm still confused as to why the rezoning can't go forward. So I guess I look at it as if the rezoning goes forward on the 27th and then it gets approved, he